Do you think that these characters remember anything that happened to them during their multiversal travels?
Well, I think we're going to take a big old hard pass on that question.
I'm so glad you could both take some time out of your schedule to talk with me about the Debris finale. I'm super excited for this. I know our viewers are super excited for this. So my first question for the both of you is, who dies in the finale? And be honest. I'm just kidding. On a more answerable note, what can we expect? Where are Bryan and Finola as we head into the finale?
I think the finale is a perfect example of why Riann and I wanted to work with Joel Wyman. It will totally coalesce the last 12 episodes, provide a lot of information and answers. It'll ask a lot of big questions, and it'll reconceptualize the characters for the audience in a way in which they cannot even begin to anticipate.
Riann, what do you think is going to surprise people most about the finale?
Just that, really. That I think Jonathan hit the nail on the head when he said when it's going to recontextualize everything. Because it certainly did for me when I read it. When I read the last episode, I think I got to the last page and went, "What? No." So I know that, Joel just can take you on a journey and take you to places you least expect.
Yeah, I mean, even from the very first episode, there's always at least one kind of holy cow moment each episode. You know, the first episode when that poor woman working in the hotel just teleports 14 floors down unexpectedly. That definitely made me sit up in my seat. As we look back over the course of the season, do you have a favorite moment or episode or element of Debris that really stands out to you that really sort of resonates with you as we head into the finale?
For me, it was the episode where we were filming and it was raining constantly, and then we had this piece of debris that put everyone into suspension. I really enjoyed that episode, and that is what that debris could do.
111, going back to Afghanistan, for me was the most compelling for me as an actor, but primarily because it gave me the opportunity to show that backstory for Bryan for an audience, but it also gave me an opportunity to share with Finola so much of my past, and it gave an understanding of why I have been so desperately unable to to really connect with her and with some of the people that have come up in our story.
Yeah, it's really been awesome to see how the relationship between Bryan and Finola has sort of grown and evolved over the course of this season, because it's this game of cat and mouse when they realize that, we actually like each other and we can get more done together. You, as the actors portraying these characters, do you think there's any other characters on the show that we can actually trust? Because even now, even Bryan and Finola still have some secrets of their own.
I think it's part of what we're trying to unravel. We don't want to reveal too much, but you definitely will get a better understanding of Maddox by the end of the season. And in that vein, we might actually think differently of Influx. I think a lot of the motivations here have been getting teased out, and there'll be a lot of clarity as we wrap up this first season.
Well, speaking of wrapping up, I'm curious, sort of looking back on the experience of making Debris, what was your first day on set like compared to your last day on the finale?
I remember the first day on set, I think we did our first car scene. We drove up and it was the pilot. We drove up in that giant SUV and we jumped out of the car and we had a very simple scene. And I remember thinking oh my goodness, is this really acting? These are the scenes are the hardest to do. We didn't have much to do, but just kind of, look for this debris and understand that, okay, I'm going to have to make a lot of these faces and, oh my God, what is this? But then by the end of the making of it all, I think we got very comfortable with the car and very comfortable with our jobs and our performances. And by the end, we built up this rapport and built up this relationship that we could now have a lot of fun. And I think we enjoyed those car scenes and improvising in the car scenes and really found the dynamic and could have a lot of fun with each other. But there was a relaxation, I think, that by the end that we had found.
One of the privileges of getting to work in television, Dan, is that you have so much time to explore characters and themes and allow things to develop and reflect and refract. And that's something that is an opportunity that Ryan and I were privileged to have over 13 episodes, to not have to make everything happen in the pilot or in the second episode. We really were able to stretch that over 13 hours of television. And the folks that have watched the show, I think, have been very well rewarded, particularly in the last 5 episodes or 4 episodes of the series.
Yeah, it's been really fascinating to see. You have to obviously set the table for what's to come, but the payoff is absolutely there, especially like you were saying, when we get that flashback to see what happens in Afghanistan. But for me, some of the most compelling stuff, this is maybe because I'm just a sucker for that kind of story, is the sort of 2-part multiverse arc, where we really get a sense of just how expansive this universe can be. And I'm curious, do you think that these characters remember anything that happened to them during their multiversal travels?
Well, I think we're going to take a big old hard pass on that question.
All good. You can't blame me for trying. It's in our name. We're the Nerdist, so had to take a swing for it.
Great question, though.
Really good question.
Let me try my luck at another potentially leading question. I believe at the end of episode 11, we see a Native American man in Arizona as we hear elements of an Apache creation myth in narration. And I believe back in episode 3, we saw some sort of blip on a map with one of the portals there. Should we expect sort of debris tech from previous episodes to pop up? How would you like to see that character and sort of that element of mythos maybe play into future episodes?
I'll say, I think that one of the Native American, the Apache, at the end of that episode is probably my favorite beat of the whole series. And I think it's a huge, acknowledgement from our creative team of the intellect that they believe the audience has. It's a real tribute to the audience. And I expect quite a bit more of that moving forward.
Yeah, it's always nice to experience a sci-fi mystery that doesn't sort of talk down to you. I like that stuff is sort of doled out, and I always love when they kind of just drop you into a world and start using terms and they expect you to know and you find out later on. Like Ligari readings, for example. You slowly piece together what they are, but I'm like, wow, this sounds important, and a high Ligari sounds very bad indeed. I can't wait to find out more. So it's been nice to see that. I want to go back for a moment, sort of mentioning this, like talking about improv and sort of building that relationship between your characters. I have to know, was eating Peeps written into the script, or was that a specific request by one of you being a secret Peep lover?
That was written in, but no one told me how awful, how zero taste they have. And it wasn't written into the script that Finola like eats it and goes, oh wow, these are great. But for some reason I decided that, no, I think Finola's going to enjoy this stale Peep.
Was there a moment during the series that was the most challenging to film for you, either from a sort of emotional standpoint or actually like a physical standpoint? Because, there's a lot of action packed into this show as well.
Some of the physical stuff with the suits was a little challenging. We kind of had to reconfigure those over the course of the series. It'd be particularly hot or cumbersome, or they would fog up in the face. But we had a really great crew, and Ryan is a dream partner to with whom to work. This was a particularly joyous opportunity, and I say that having shot some really challenging things before. So this was this was one of the more elegant processes.
For me, I'd say there was the episode where we first met my father, George Jones. I think that I found like challenging as an actor, but I embraced that challenge because we had spoken about him for quite a few episodes, and so he was real to me, but in this in a very different way than actually now having to create this relationship with him in like as a person, and find that father-daughter relationship, which I already have a slightly challenging relationship with my own father, and then having to now step in to confront my own issues with an actual kind of person playing my father, I know that that's been quite a journey for me. But I remember that episode, I think episode 8 was probably very challenging, but it was so instrumental in, I think, solidifying their relationship. And you really get to see where they are and how far they have to go.
I can't wait to see what other experiences they have and what alien technology lies in store for us in the finale. Congratulations again to both of you, and I can't wait for our viewers at home and everyone out there to experience the Debris finale. So, Jonathan, Riann, thank you both so much. I really appreciate you taking the time.
No, absolutely. Thank you.
We love the Nerdist. You guys have been so great, and we look forward to hearing what you think of the last episode.
Yeah.
We'll have some thoughts, mostly Peep related, but no, I'm very excited to talk about it. So thank you both again.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care.
Have a good one, guys.